Well, I'm delighted to be joined by Joe Edwards. Joe, ahead of the big game against Burnley tomorrow night. We just heard from Mr. Nuno Espirito Santo ahead of the game where, look, after that really good display of the weekend, they'll win the next three. Who knows? Who knows? It could be Europa League, it could be Champions League. There's going to be twists and turns, Joe. But what's for certain is that Wolves need to win at Turf Moor tomorrow night if they're going to have any chance of Champions League football.
Yeah, it's a big game. Such is the tight race for European football that has been made even tighter by Manchester City winning their appeal. You can't really afford to lose games. You've got to be winning really, just to kind of guarantee your spot. And there's so many teams kind of in that near kind of chasing pack below Wolves. There's teams that Wolves still can reach above them, so it's all to play for. Burnley will be tougher than Everton. I think we can say that. As my cat scratches himself in the background. Everton were poor. They were on the beach. We know that. Burnley have still got a little bit to play for. They're looking quite solid. They're 5 unbeaten. They've got Chris Wood back. Jay Rodriguez is just on a fantastic purple patch, so they're going to be a tougher test. Nuno knows that, said as much himself. It's always tough games against Burnley, he said, and he expects exactly the same tomorrow at Turf Moor.
But if you line both teams up, you look at quality, the neutral would expect Wolves to win this game. Wolves will be confident after going into the game and playing so well against Everton. One of those players, Daniel Podence, who made his full Premier League debut, was superb. Nuno was very waxed lyrical about him at times, very pleased, so he had to wait for his opportunity and took it. You've got to think that he's probably given himself a great chance to keep his place in that team.
I think so. Well, I mean, he was man of the match on Sunday, and he'd be very unlucky if he finds himself as man of the match and then relegated to the bench tomorrow night. I mean, there's nothing to say that won't happen. I mean, it's very much a squad game these days, but after putting in that performance, you'd fancy his chances of starting again. Just got a feeling that Diogo Jota will come back into the starting lineup as well. I think we could well see a front three of Podence, Jota and Jimenez. Perhaps Podence starting off from the right-hand side, because as we saw against Everton, he's not just going to stick to that left-hand side. He's going to drift either side. He's going to come deep. I mean, he even found himself at right-back at one point in the game to get on the ball. So he's almost playing a bit of a free role.
Yeah, got the penalty on the right-hand side of the box as well. So it's a good,
exactly.
He's very accustomed to playing and very versatile is what you want. I guess the main situation coming out of that game and the main disappointment coming out of that game was Pedro Neto and the knock that he took. What did Nuno say about him?
So didn't say a great deal. It mentioned that there was kind of a couple of things that they had to assess. They're travelling up to Burnley late today and stopping overnight by the sounds of things. They're going to assess a couple of things there. But Neto, strong cramp was the definition that Nuno gave as to what he picked up on Sunday. Different thing to that he suffered a couple of weeks ago against Arsenal. That was a strong kick, as Nuno would call it. So
the quadriceps, wasn't it? It's more muscular, I think.
To the quadriceps. So that was a kick to the quad. This is more of a cramp, a bit of a soreness issue. Been training with the fitness coach just to kind of see how he is. Sounds like he will travel. I would be surprised if he starts, and especially after Jota's goal off the bench and the manner in which he took it. We know the player Jota is when he gets back among the goals. He'll be fit and firing. He'll be really kind of keen to get another goal at Turf Moor. So I think we'll see Jota start. I think we'll see Podence start, and hopefully Neto will be fit enough for the bench.
João Martini is probably the one who maybe could count himself a little bit unlucky being on the bench, but Nuno got it right. And Dendoncker was on the score sheet again. That's another decision that Nuno will have to make.
It is. If I was making a decision, which I'm definitely not, and I'm nowhere near qualified enough to to make these decisions, but I think there is scope to play Dendoncker again. It worked a treat against Everton, and you're looking at that Burnley team. On paper, it's not the best, but Sean Dyche has done an incredible job. And he's kind of even got some kind of square pegs in round holes. I mean, he's got Eric Peters playing a wide midfield when he's a full back all day long. But the point I'm making is that they're all quite physical. players. You've got Peters in there. You've got Westwood who runs for days. You've got Tarkovsky and people like that. And I think you're looking at that physical Burnley team. I think Dendonka's attributes perhaps, complement going up against that test better than Moutinho's. I think Moutinho has now played 57 games for club and country this season. That's the most of anyone in Europe. And he turns 34 in September. So I think it's only natural that we've seen a bit of a slowdown from Moutinho. I think another game on the bench wouldn't hurt him at all, and then perhaps unleash him against Crystal Palace. I mean, obviously you want your best players on the pitch, but I think you've got to be a bit clever, and Dendonka certainly did enough against the Toffees to retain his place.
Give a prediction then, Joe. It's Burnley against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
You nearly forgot then.
No, I didn't say West Brom.
Yeah, I think it'll be tight. I think it's going to be very tight. Nick Pope has got 14 clean sheets in the Premier League.
And he'll still have 14 after this game.
But it's. I think there's only going to be a goal in it. I'll say Wolves 1-0. I'll say 1-0. Another clean sheet for Rui Patricio, hopefully. I mean, the defence looked a lot tighter against Everton on Sunday. Yes, they weren't troubled all too much. Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison pretty much didn't turn up, but that'll do their confidence good, and hopefully they can keep the informed Rodriguez and the big boy that is Chris Wood at bay as well. And 1-0. That's what I go for.
Yeah, 2-1 for me. Another win, and then beat Palace, and then let's see. It could be fun in games against Chelsea in the last game of the season. Fingers crossed. Joe, myself, and you will be at Turf Moor tomorrow night. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to see you at an away game, and for all the post-match and pre-match reaction and the build-up to this one, make sure you log on to expressionstar.com.